Mike Pachelli here. Thanks for tuning in. By popular demand, I will be talking about the Beatles recording of Here, There, and Everywhere that they did in June of 1966. The song was written by Paul McCartney as he lounged around John Lennon's pool one morning in Weybridge as John was still asleep, and it was inspired by the Beach Boys song God Only Knows, and of course by Jane Asher, who was Paul's girlfriend at the time. The intro was probably inspired by old-fashioned writers who used to have a preamble at the beginning of the song, and that's probably something Paul learned from his dad, who was into jazz and standards. About the song, Paul has said, "People say, which is your favorite tune? And I'm often tempted to say Yesterday, because it arrives so magically. But I like this one. In fact, if pushed, I would say that Here, There, and Everywhere is my own favorite of all my songs. So now when I sing it, I look back at it and think, the boy's not bad." And about the song, John Lennon has said, "There was a period when I thought I didn't write melodies, that Paul wrote those, and I just wrote straight shouting rock and roll. But of course, when I think of some of my own songs, In My Life, or some of the early stuff, This Boy, I was writing melody with the best of them. It's Paul's song completely, I believe, and one of my favorite songs of the Beatles." June 14th, 1966, they're at EMI Studio 2, and they work on the song for 7 hours trying to get the arrangement correctly, with Paul on bass, George on acoustic, and Ringo on drums. They do 4 takes, but have no success. Back in the studio on June 16th, they decide to do the song a little slower, and they try it 9 times, with Paul on guitar, George on guitar, and Ringo on drums. Take 13 is the winner, and onto that track they did the background vocals with John, Paul, and George singing together, no doubt on one microphone. Paul wanted his overdub vocal to sound like Marianne Faithfull, who was Mick Jagger's girlfriend at the time. So what they did was they slowed the tape down to the key of F, and Paul sang it in F. Then when they sped the tape back up to the normal speed, which is the key of G, that's why the vocal sounds very youthful-like. Now, fun facts to know and tell. The intro to Here, There, and Everywhere, to lead a better life, which is D, G, B, D, is also the exact same notes that he used in Live and Let Die. When you were young, D, G, B, D. Thought that was interesting. On that date, Paul also overdubbed his bass. June 17th, they're back in the studio. Paul double tracks his vocal, and George double tracked that lead guitar part during the bridges, and he used a volume pedal for the ending licks. Now, when I did research for this, some write that George was actually using his Rickenbacker, and he was using the Ricco sound in stereo, running it to 2 different amps to get the sound on the record. And some other writers say that George was plugged into a Leslie cabinet. But I found it very easy to get the exact same tone just using a Stratocaster plugged into a Fender amp. So all in all, the song took 16 and a half hours to record over 3 days. It was mixed on June 21st, 1966, and the Beatles never played it live or any of the Revolver songs on their last American tour, and it was released on the Revolver album on August 8th, 1966. So that's the backstory. Let's get started. Paul McCartney is the main guitarist on Here, There, and Everywhere, playing his Epiphone Casino through what I hear as a Fender amplifier. Could be his Bassman, could be a Showman, but I've got mine plugged into a 1967 Fender Deluxe Reverb. Now, to play that intro, you'll need these chords. You'll need a G, a B minor, a B flat, an A minor 7th, and a D7. Now that intro is in free time. So when he first plays the G, he plays it just up to the B string, then strums the B minor, strums the B flat, then he hits an A note, an A minor 7 to D7. And then, Ringo does a little tom and rhythm begins. So every time you see Paul McCartney do this live, he's playing it with his fingers, but to my ear on the record, it sounds like he was using a pick because the stabs on the chords are just so sharp. Do it any way you feel you can get the sound. So on a verse, it starts with that G strummed up to the B string, and then arpeggiating on the A minor. So you voice the A minor and play an A and E. And then I like to pick the C and the A of that A minor up, so you get a sharp on that. Voice the B minor, and then do the same thing, arpeggiate through it. And a C. Oh, you need a C chord here. So, and then kind of repeat that. Strum, sharp, B minor, C. Now then you need an F sharp minor 7th, voice like this. And you'll need a B7. You'll need an E minor, regular A minor, and an A minor 7, D7. So where was I? Second part of the verse, like when you get to the F sharp minor 7th, voice that and arpeggiate the low parts of that chord to the B7. Once again, I always love this about the Beatles, where they get like a minor second sound. On that B7, you just hear a B and an A. That sound twice. E minor, A minor, A minor 7th, D7. Second verse, very similar until the very ending. So the second verse is again strummed just to the D note of the B string, A minor, right? B minor, that's C, G again, strum, A minor, B minor, C, same thing with F sharp minor, strum, minor 2nd, F sharp minor, B7, E minors, A minor, and on the very end, 2 A minor 7s, a D7, and an F. So the intro and 2 verses in time would sound like this. For the bridge chords, you'll need a B flat up here, G minor 7, C minor, and the very first time he plays is D7 up here. And G minor, C minor again, D7 again. And that'll be the bridge. So on the bridge, play the low parts, it's just pretty much strummed on the low parts of the B flat and through it like, right? Down to G minor 7th, arpeggiate, C minor, and then from a C note to a D. Oops. G minor, C minor, D7 up here. So in real time, the bridge would sound like this. Third third verse is very similar to the other verses, except at the very ending. So the third verse, again, you just strum to the D note of the G chord on the B string. Get those little stabs really sharp on B minor, on the C, G, strum, up pick to get it sharp, C, F sharp minor 7th, B7. That's the first time you hear the F sharp on the top of that B7. F sharp minor 7th. This time on B7, again, you hear the major second interval. E minor. Now on E minor this time, he plays two open strings. He plays a B and a G to the A minor arpeggiated, A minor 7th, D7. And he gets like an F major 7th, because what he does is on the D7 he goes, he picks up the F sharp to an E and makes a, and the bass is playing an F, so it's like an F major 7th. Quality guitars. So verse 3 would sound like this in time. On bridge 2, he plays a little different on the B flat. He starts on the low notes and just plays G minor 7th. What's different is on the C minor. He voices the C minor, but he just plays a C and an E flat note, and then regular D7 down here, G minor, again with the just C and an E flat note, and the D7. So in real time, bridge 2 sounds like this. On the G of verse 4, he just plays a D, G, and a D note, adds a B, so then A minor, and he's going to slide from the E to the F sharp of the B minor. Right, so he goes to the C, G, B minor, C. Move the chart so I can see it here a little better. F sharp minor, pretty much the same. B7, F sharp minor, B7. Now a little different on E minor. He goes like A minor 7, D7. You hear that rattling? Quality guitar. And the very ending, G, let's see, G again, B minor, C, G, B minor. And this is the first time he plays a first position C chord to the G. I don't know what's rattling today. I love these Beatles guitars. Anyhow, that last verse and the ending in time looks like this. So there you have it. That's what Paul played on Here, There, and Everywhere. To my my ear, George Harrison is simply playing his Fender Stratocaster plugged right into a Fender amplifier. So I've got mine still going into the 1967 Deluxe Reverb. He did some really nice overdubs on the bridges and on the end. And as usual, George Harrison is the epitome of taste. I tell all my students, if you want to learn to play tasty guitar, first start learning everything George ever did. But the bridge chords, again, are B flat, G minor 7th, C minor, D7, and then G minor. Now on this G minor, George starts with a chromatic line on the end of 1. 1. It's very kind of a jazz move, you know, going from the 5th of G minor up to the 7th by incorporating the raised 5 and the 6th. 1. And he seems to have played the rest of the line still on the B string, the whole line on the B string, which is... Got that? Now, you hear two guitars on this playing this line on the record, one on the far left and on the far right, but you also could hear a third guitar that ends on the E flat. So one guitar plays, and then it doesn't continue. So again, the whole first bridge line is 1, okay? And on the second bridge, it's nearly the same. It's just there's a slight rhythm difference on the second part of the lick. It goes like this: 1. So if I do that even slower, it'd be 1. Got that? And then on the very end, he's probably using a volume pedal, but you can also do that by just playing the note and using your pinky to bring the volume up on your volume control on the guitar. So like they're just, it's a B, A, G, E, and D. Again, all on the same string. And that's what he plays at the end. Volume pedal or volume control knob, whatever works for you. So I have put it together in a sound alike, so you can see how all the parts fit together. So have a look at this.
To lead a better life, I need my love to be here, making each day of the year, changing my life with a wave of her hand.
So there you have it. Such a pretty song and played beautifully by Paul and George. I suggest you download the charts and tabs, learn both parts, play along with my sound alike, and you'll get it just like the Beatles. And if you'd like to drop me a line, do so at mikepachelli.com, and that's where the charts and tabs for all my video lessons are available for you to download. And I appreciate your consideration in supporting my work that way. So have fun playing this great old song, and until next time, I'm Mike Pachelli. Thanks for hanging out with me.